Somebody on the rest today and to another edition of Smackdown Out of 10. It's a big show today. Of course, we've had Survivor Series War Games kind of in the rearview mirror now. And yeah, we're building up to the Royal Rumble, but it's still a while away. But yeah, in the meantime, we still do have lots of stuff. Undisputed Tag Team title match, among other stuff, as well as feuds continuing. So let's get straight into it. And the Brawling Brutes kicked off the show, and since Drew McIntyre couldn't make it, Sheamus and Butch were set to take on the Usos for the tag belts, and that's what kicked off the show. Sheamus and Jimmy kicked off the match, and the challengers were in complete control early on. The Usos isolated Butch after he tagged in, and after a break, the latter broke out with a German suplex and made a tag to Sheamus. The Brutes hit the base of the battering together before Sheamus got an avalanche white noise for an earfall. Butch then got an earful of a DDT before Sheamus sent Jay into the barricades outside. Butch was about to get the win, but Sammy interfered and Ridge Holland went after, and Sheamus took a super kick from Jay before the Usos hit a 1D. And yeah, this gets 7 out of 10 for me. Another really good match involving the Usos, and once again Sami Zayn helping them all tie into the story, of course. And yeah, a really fun match to kick off the show with the distractions you'd expect. So yeah, 7 out of 10. Kurt Angle was then backstage with Gable Stevenson. Good to see him when they ran into Braun Strowman. Braun greeted Kurt and challenged Gable to a future match. Gable did not back down, and this impressed Braun. LA Knight was then out next and still looking for his attacker in the past weeks. He reviewed footage and realised that Uncle Howdy's mask was there on every occasion. Uncle Howdy came on the Titantron and said something about the door closing and it being evident that Bray Wyatt was behind all of this. LA ran backstage to find whoever was responsible before SmackDown moved on. And yeah, I think we all know where this is going. It's it is a really good storyline. Obviously, it's probably going to turn out to be Uncle Howdy and then Bray Wyatt, this dual program. So yeah, it's really good. LA Knight, I kind of feel like he's the perfect opponent as well. It's growing on me, this stuff. Shotzi was attacked earlier in the night though. When asked about their involvement, Baszler and Rousey denied having any part of it. Morgan and Tegan Knox then challenged Rousey and Baszler to a match later on before we headed to the ring for the Guarded Elf Phantasma versus the Viking Raiders. Wild and Eric kicked off the match and the Vikings were in control early. Hit Row the music hit and we saw B-Fab come down the ramp with his sealed hair. Top Dollar and Ashanti attacked Legado in the ring before the ref called the match. B-Fag attacked Valhalla and tossed her into Zelina Vega at ringside before Hit Row took down the Vikings. Dollar then caught Wild off a dive in a big net break before posing in the ring with his teammates. And yeah, this gets 6 out of 10 from me. Yeah, it wasn't bad stuff. Of course, the match would have been great before it got cut off, but yeah, I don't mind it at all because I think having these 3 tag teams feuding, obviously going to get a match with them. Yeah, it's kind of what the tag team division really needs at the moment because the Usos, I don't know, they kind of feel a bit detached from it. So yeah, no issues with this at all, really. LA Knight was backstage and entered his locker and to find a Bray Wyatt Firefly t-shirt inside. He tossed it aside, and when the lights went out before Uncle Howdy was seen in there with him and the cameras cut out, spooky. After a break, Ricochet and Imperium were out to sign the IC Championship match. New Day came out to lend Ricochet a hand against Imperium if needed. Guns talked about being pros, not performers, and Ricochet turned it into a joke saying they can't perform. A brawl broke out shortly after, and Adam Pearce made it into a match as New Day and Ricochet sent Imperium outside and hit big dives on them, and that led to the 6-man tag team match. Ricochet and Kaiser kicked off the match officially, and Woods was tagged in early on to take control of the match. Vinci came in with the tag and took Woods down in the corner before sending him outside. Gunther was tagged in and beat Woods down in the ring before Kofi came in and took control of the match with some high-flying moves. Kofi got a boom drop on Vinci before Kaiser's distraction caused him to miss Trouble in Paradise before Kingston was sent over the announce desk. Ricochet got back in the ring, but New Day missed the midnight hour. Ricochet took Gunther out with a dive before Kofi hit Trouble in Paradise on Kaiser. Ricochet finished Kaiser with a splash and picked up the win. And yeah, this gets a 7 out of 10 from me. Really good match, really fun match. Potential NXT Tag Team Champions coming in really handy there, depending on what happens tonight. But yeah, on the whole, a really fun match. Surprised the Imperium lose, but yeah, a good win for the faces at the same time as well, because you imagine Gunther will win next week. So yeah, 7 out of 10, good stuff. Backstage, Alpha Academy were angry when they found out they weren't invited to Kurt's party, but the Street Profits were, before the Bloodline was backstage, and Jey Uso told Sami Zayn to get a haircut before Roman Reigns' return next week. Karrion Kross and Scarlett then showed up to talk to Rey Mysterio. Kross called Rey useless and washed up before security came in and sent them out, and then it was time for Ronda and Shayna versus Morgan and Knox. Knox and Shayna kicked off the match, and Baszler sent us to corner before she tagged Tegan off the ropes. Rousey tagged in and mocked Morgan before locking in an ankle lock. Raquel Rodriguez came out with broken arm distraction and had Knox and Morgan sneak a victory on Baszler. And yeah, not really surprising by the ending, to be honest. Kind of predictable, but you know, at the same time, it gave the babyfaces a win. Wasn't a massive fan of this, but you know, I kind of see what they were trying to do. So I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Kurt Angle was then out for his birthday celebration before he could celebrate Alpha Academy, so unsurprisingly interrupted, and they were unhappy and mocked the Hall of Fame before saying he sucked. Chad Gable and Otis then called the celebration by before eating the cake. Kurt walked off before Gable Stevenson came in with an old-timey milk truck. They tossed milk bottles at Alpha Academy before Angle hosed them with some more milk. And you know, it was SmackDown with, not too much modifications. It was just a fun way to end the show. Gabriel Stevenson came in here. Great to see him. I can't wait to see when he's officially going to debut. But yeah, the Alpha Academy being kind of like the joke as they normally are. Yeah, I mean, it was a fine ending to SmackDown, I suppose. Perfectly entertaining. But overall this week, SmackDown gets a 6 out of 10 from me. I thought it was a solid episode of SmackDown this week. Some really decent matches in there. Bit of fun at the end. Tag team match was really good. So yeah, on the whole, you can't really complain. Just on the whole, a fun episode of Friday Night SmackDown next week, and things are stepping up next week, I think, with a few title matches, the Big Dog returning, so yeah, lots of stuff happening. But anyway guys, that's it for video. Thanks very much for watching. So like, share, subscribe, rate, thoughts, comments, comment, and follow the channel for daily wrestling news, and subscribe to the channel, subscribe, and I would greatly appreciate it. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.